Okay, day 2 of my planned 20-day water fast. Um, Overall, my feeling is, I'm definitely like feeling very tingly, kind of a buzzy. I would say that's what I'm feeling like, kind of a kind of a buzzy feeling, a light buzziness feeling all throughout my body. And been wearing my arm sling here. Definitely feeling this stretching more here. But let's see what other things. So my pH was a little bit lower today, 5.75. Weight dropped, a fair amount. Yesterday I was 208.7. Today I was 205.6. So I dropped 3 pounds. Probably mostly water weight, I'm guessing. Let's see, I've consumed a lot more water today, 3 liters. Lost track of how many times I actually went to the bathroom. I think like at least 5 times or something today. Water pH is a little bit higher than I'm drinking, 9.44. And again, the pH, I checked myself, that was first thing in the morning. So the higher pH water that I was drinking, starting to drink in the morning, that was after I took that first pH level test, first thing in the morning, the first time going to the bathroom in the morning. Got up kind of late, even later, didn't get up to like 11. So I went to bed earlier, but I still woke up late as ever. So, got up. I was actually woke up a couple of hours before that, but I was just kind of doing a lot of drifting in my mind, and just letting be, but I'll definitely make a conscious effort to get up at a little more early time. It's just before 11 o'clock at night right now. So my plan is to lay down pretty soon, and just listen to my meditation track. It's been interesting. I've been, definitely the heart, like I'm feeling more of this, like a little more of a chest pounding kind of a feeling of my heart. That's been kind of it feels kind of a little weird, but I think I've felt it before, so I think that's just part of this process I'm going through with this fasting. It's definitely been 48 hours. So far it's the hunger, the feelings of hunger have been muted, I would say. It's more mental, I think. Feeling of like, oh man, dude, I could end the fast right now if I just stopped and got some, I have food, there's food in the fridge, I'm trying to get rid of it, calling up the next door neighbor to come and take some. He only took a little bit of it. I was trying to give it all away, but he wouldn't take it. So now it's like, all right, I got to try to get rid of more of the food tomorrow. I want to get down to 0 again, because I'm just like, okay, going into the, I think the first 2 days, okay, and then, might be like a final, the next couple of days is probably when that's, probably that's where it's going to get a lot tougher, that final, like, are you sure about this? Not going full into ketosis mode just yet. From my understanding, it takes at least 72 hours, for the ketosis to kick in. So it's only about 48. So I'm just I did some cleaning around the house since, kind of partially incapacitated, but, I can still do one-armed stuff. But there's definitely feeling exacerbated a little bit more. I definitely am noticing that. I'm already getting those sensations of like, I put in a certain amount of work, very mild effort type of work, mild, low, moderate work. And I just finding myself definitely taking more frequent breaks, just work for a little while, clean up one little section, and then go sit down and just watch some TV for a little bit, watch some TV for an hour, and just rest or just listen to something, and then get back up again and continue on to the next little section, so that's definitely something that's been, I'm noticing very clearly right now. So those are the main things, what other feelings might be coming up for me? Like I said, it's mostly this buzziness feeling in my body, a little bit of buzzy lightheadedness feeling. I have been noticing that it's, I've been practicing doing this visualization work, visualizing what my future I want it to be. And I'm definitely noticing it's been more challenging just recently to actually just go straight in and have like a clear visualization of it. Like very quickly, my mind just starts to go off on all these different random tangents instead of just like creating the imagery and the sights and the feelings of the visuals that I want to practice visualizing. Very quickly starts getting all kind of sloppy and starts interjecting all these other random things. So I have been noticing that. So I'm wondering if that's a little bit of the fatigue, a little bit of the stress and fatigue from the fast that's kind of disrupting my normal ability to do the visualization work. So that's something kind of interesting. I didn't really think about, until now that I'm having that experience. So those are some of the things. I've been definitely spending time watching a few little shows. Today I definitely spent a lot more time doing some cleaning, which was good. I felt like, at least had some productivity. But I definitely know that there's definitely some things that I need to be working on experiencing, some of the internal sadness and things like that I think I'm still kind of shut off. I'm partially shut off from still. So, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And, just keep thinking like, man, am I actually, it's like, I say, it's like, yes, I'm doing this 20-day thing, 20-day water fast. But then I'm just like, fuck, am I actually doing this? Am I actually going to make it through, or is it going to turn like excruciating or something at some point, 'cause I did do, but it's been long enough. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, this is where I'm at right now. Day two, so much can change between day 2 and day 20. you know. I mean, it's definitely, it's weird, this feeling of both like, I'm caught between these two thoughts of like feeling like I'm wasting time by not like actively really working at stuff really well, but then it's contrasted with the thought of like I'm putting, you know, I'm doing something that's like a tremendous investment in my health and long-term health and clarity and wellness and longevity and all that stuff. And that, you know, even when I'm not doing much, the act of not eating is actually a really, so I'm doing a lot actually by, you know, like my main job right now is keep myself on track and don't allow myself to slip. You know, even if I don't really accomplish much of anything else, the honest truth is like 20 days are going to fly by. 20 days are going to go by like nothing anyways. But those 20 days could actually, you know, these next 20 days, or 18 days, I guess, at this point, you know, I'll look back with reverence and grateful, you know, appreciation for myself that I actually put myself through this, do this hard, you know, this hard reset and renew my body and my mind. And yeah, I'm like, oh, I'm not exercising right now and all that kind of stuff, but, you know, I'm definitely dropping the weight. You know, and I'm really looking forward to what may open up, you know, with clarity and insight. Because I remember the last time I did a really long fast years ago, it was definitely the greatest one of the greatest spiritual experiences of my life. You know, that wasn't involving any kind of psychedelic stuff. So part of me is really like, wow, you know, I really hope that this is, it's gonna bring some of that back. At least part of that experience that I had the first time. It's some of that, you know, at least a part of it. You know, I'm just hoping at least a part of it. At least a part of that just mind-opening consciousness, just like super tapped into my intuition, and then be able to just kind of ride that for as long as I can, you know, which that goes back to the food, you know. Actually, speaking of food, the only thing I am doing now is I got this in the mail. It's called Flyby Fuel, which it's a little, I put in the first 1.5 liters of water that I drank today, put in like 60 drops of this stuff, and it's comprised of 40 milligrams. Its serving size is 40 milligrams magnesium, 2 milligrams zinc, 390 milligrams chloride, 125 milligrams sodium, and 130 milligrams potassium, and 20 milligrams sulfate. So these are all these electrolyte supplement, you know. So definitely learned from that previous experience that I was not supplementing with any electrolytes during that my original 29-day fast years ago. And well, anyways, I'm going to be telling the story. So yeah, so this is a learning lesson. I'm putting this in there because of like, I know what can happen if you don't supplement this, and so I definitely gotta So that's what I'm doing this time. I'm like, okay, all right. Because I'm not sure if I'm going to go longer than 20 days. I may go longer than 20 days. My plan is honestly keep going until I heal. Until I heal everything that's busted. I'm hoping like 20 days is like pretty much have everything healed by then, which would be like seemingly kind of crazy. I guess it sounds kind of crazy, but I mean, like, fuck, like, why not? You know? So maybe all this could all just get healed in 20 days. Or if it takes a little bit longer, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll revisit the whole 29 days thing again and go for a full 30 days, you know, because I mean, the weight that I started this fast, pretty similar to the weight that I started the 29-day fast, you know, and now that I'm doing the electrolytes, it's definitely, I think I'm be a much stronger position to last longer. Yeah, so I mean, even if maybe I just go for the 30 days, you know, 40 days is probably pushing it, but you know, it's like, fuck it. Like, I don't know, maybe I'll go that long. I don't know. But 20 is definitely where I'm going. Anyway, so, yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. Definitely drank a lot more water today. I'm gonna definitely just monitor that to make sure I don't drink, you know, don't be making 3 liters a day a habit. I think from the last time, I think it's better to just taper it down just a little bit. Keep it down to 2 to 2.5 liters a day. I think, you know, so I'm just not flushing out things out of my system too quickly. And I think I may take on periodically going to the sauna to do some sweating, you know, to sweat out toxins, since our skin, we expel a lot of toxins through our skin through sweating. So I have not been sweating since I'm not hot right now, so I'm not exerting myself very much. So I think that would be positive. I just make sure I don't like faint or something. So part of me is like, maybe I'll hold that off for a couple more days. Kind of feel like I've kind of stabilized and fully kicked over into ketosis mode. And I'm not having like the same lightheadedness and stuff. But yeah, so that's something, you know, and then I'll include that in the details of this as it goes along. And yeah, so that's it for now. So that's the journey. All right, end of day 2, and it's about 11:15. So I'm gonna start my meditation now. And then one other thing I'm planning on starting is start the Wim Hof breathing method for alkalizing the body. So I'm like, well, right now this healing process is all about alkalizing. So I'm doing the alkaline water. So now I'm going to add into this, I'm also going to add the Wim Hof breathing method, you know, where it's like 15 minutes process. I think I recommend doing it once in the morning, once at night. So I think I'll just start it fresh tomorrow, and then integrate that into my routine. So that's I'm definitely. I think I'm definitely going to use this fasting, water fasting, long-term water fasting experience to work on recalibrating my daily routines, especially in the first hour or two of waking up, like what time I'm waking up, and the first hour or two of what I'm doing when I wake up, and then the time that I'm getting ready to go to sleep, and what I'm doing, before I go to sleep, and I wind down, like doing the meditation and and the breathing and all that kind of stuff, to really focus and get those new habits in there. It's one of the things I really got was, and I'm being reminded through this experience that, when you cut food out of your day-to-day existence, you realize how much of your day is devoted to food. Thinking about food, the time you spend time thinking about food, and then the time spent researching, looking up places to go, where to go, recipes to make, whatever, and then getting in some vehicle somewhere to then travel to a store, and then like picking out those items and then putting them in bags and then bringing them back home, and then preparing the food, and then cooking the food, and then eating the food, and then and then after you're done eating the food, then you gotta clean the plates, and then you do the dishes, and then the things are dripping dry, and you gotta remember to dry them, and then put them back in the things, and then you start that all again, or you're going some review, and then you're going out to some restaurant, and and honestly, all of those steps, like they consume a lot of our day and our time and our energy, our mental energy, our physical energy, our financial resources, and I know they're all needed, but it's still an interesting experiment to experience doing a water fast in which all of that just ends. And it suddenly reveals what your life actually is filled with other than food and food-related activities. And I think some people may come to the shocking realization that the most possibly the most beloved, interesting thing in their life is food, and then when they eliminate food, that their life is pretty empty and boring. So I think that's also a benefit of doing a long water fast. It really just like forces you to examine other parts of yourself and parts of your life, and it's definitely apparent to me that definitely been using food. I know I might have touched upon this in the last video, but again, I'll just reiterate, food has definitely been the drug of choice for myself and millions of Americans and millions of people around the world. It's like when things suck, I think I heard it said somewhere, it's like, when things are sucking, different, you've gotten rejected in these different situations, rejected by a potential romantic partner, you got rejected at work, you got rejected by whatever. The one thing that will never reject you is food, So you start to count on and rely on it. You're like, hey, this will soothe me. This will not reject me. It's almost like the food will love you or something, So when you just cut it out, it's just like, fuck. And you're forced to confront things that you're using food so that you wouldn't have to deal with those things, and I guess the next backup thing is just like mindless entertainment. So, I'm definitely I'm noticing that. I'm like, well, I'm definitely watching more TV now, where I normally don't really watch much TV at all, so I'm like, okay, just noticing these little details, like, okay, what's happening here? Like, am I watching this because I'm needing to rest, or am I watching this because I'm trying to find some other form of distraction so that I don't have to deal with facing certain things about myself and my emotions and stuff. So that's something that's kind of interesting. I'm just like, it's like, food for thought. Funny, ironically enough, food for thought. yeah, I have more like thought as food. So yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. It's Sunday. I'm just like, wow, okay, day three. Day three, I think that's like, I feel like getting past day three is definitely going to be a big milestone. And then the next big milestone is like getting past day five. Is, like, I think those are some key milestones. Like ketosis mode should be fully kicking in, tomorrow. So, whatever that brings with it, whatever feelings that bring up inside my body and my head and my mind and, my energy levels and all that kind of stuff. And then, but from what I remember the last time, day five is usually, that's the moment that things kind of hit a new plateau where things kind of settle in. And that like the desire to eat really drops down significantly. Yeah, so but yeah, so far I haven't been having much aches, that many aches and pains, other than of course, what's broken collarbone aching right there, big toe, kind of aches a little bit here and there, but surprisingly not too bad. But yeah, overall I haven't really felt any like flashes of pain, aches and pains in my fingers and toes and back and all that stuff, which I definitely had the first time I did the fast. So, who knows, maybe overall I have less toxins now than I did back then when I first did it. So, maybe that's a good sign. I definitely feel like my skin is getting pretty dry, like it's feeling like I'm just like starting to flake a lot of my face and stuff. So, I think that might be part of this process. It's just purging stuff. And yeah, so all right, that's it. I know I've rambled on quite a bit here, so yeah, so that's my day 2, and I will be back for day 3 and give an update of how I'm feeling, what's happening, what's my day like, and all right, talk to you then. Bye.